Welcome back to Absolutely Marvel and DC. My name is Benny, that is Dylan, and that is Sal. We are the channel that gets together and chats about some of your favorite TV shows and movies, rumors, theories, reviews. We do it all right here. So join that absolute armada today. Be a part of our family. Click like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell because today we are talking about I keep wanting to say Keeper. Peacemaker episode 5.
I think this is the first Peacemaker episode I've been on.
It is, because you watched the first 3, but you were one day off.
Oh, then okay, so I've been on most of them.
I was going to say, you were for sure on the first 3.
Yeah, because Dylan is the one that couldn't. Yeah, Dylan couldn't make the first episode.
That's right. No, I forgot about that. Yeah. Well,
we do too much filming, Sal. If you're at a point where you don't know what you're on,
I don't know what the hell I'm watching anymore. But I will say, Peacemaker number 5 is just as good as the last 4. It's a great show.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's incredible. My quick usual rundown. Trying to remember, I only remember my favorite bits, so we're just going to go over it real quick. They decide that they figure out that the butterfly's food source is being made from a certain location, so they decide they're going to go take care of that. We get to see an awesome use of the Peacemaker helmet. I keep wanting to say Keeper. I don't know why. Oh, because I just did Batman yesterday.
Oh, that'll do it.
Peacekeeper 01.
Peacekeeper 01.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they go and they have this awesome scene involving the helmet. We discover more about the butterflies that way. There's a side thing going on about the detective trying to track down what's going on with the white dragon. That being flipped on the white dragon, and they're still messing with them. Yeah, those are the highlights, right? Like then there's a bunch of little
It's a big action sequence. We also get a couple it pays off the reveal of the last episode.
Oh, that he's actually a butterfly, the main guy.
Yes, exactly.
The guy in charge of the group.
That Clemson is actually a butterfly.
I keep wanting to call him Menu, but his name is Manu, I think.
Mern.
Why do I keep saying Menu?
Menu's very funny to me. I'm down to just call him Menu.
He's a Menu. But yeah, so they revealed that in the last episode. In this one, we finally pay that off thanks to a literal plot device that appears in the beginning of this episode and is paid off at the end of it.
I want to ask you this. Did any of you guys make the connection that that's how they're going to figure out Menu's butterfly set? Yeah. I did not at all until she was playing with it.
No.
She puts it on and I was like, oh!
Yeah. No, I'm like, oh no, he has an X-ray helmet? That is going to become a problem. And, I was actually worried that one of the team outside of Menu was going to be a butterfly as well.
Same.
Like Diebeard or,
I have, my bets are off. I've got I'm going to say Harcourt. I've got a weird feeling it's going to be Harcourt.
I think you're right, because Harcourt's actually going to be in another DC movie coming up.
Wait, she is?
Yeah. And so I think that they want to set that up where it's like Harcourt's going to be like, I learned the value of family and friends and stuff, and then it's big reveal,
tongue.
CG zoom in. She's got a tongue.
Can we just comment that the tongue is the greatest way to reveal that they're actually a butterfly and not leave you with a question of well, are they just evil? Are they on the other side? You see that tongue, you're like, butterfly.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I think it is interesting that because if we want to stick with Harcourt probably being a butterfly, like something that Menu talked about a lot in I think it was last episode of when he was saying I used to not have any emotions, but now I'm trying to feel stuff and talk about that.
Yes.
And we Harcourt obviously had emotions, but we hadn't seen her express she smiles and starts that group chat and everything in this episode, and that all happens after they go through the factory. So that is a very easy thing to write. Between all the cuts, somebody got a butterfly in their head. Almost to the point where I hope it doesn't happen. But
me too.
I like Harcourt.
Same that too. But also there's still the whole plot thread that Judo Master before he got shot was the butterflies aren't something. So there's more to them than meets the eye. Who knows? I just again that's a plot thread that I hope that they don't go down just because it's so
obvious.
Yeah, it's so obvious and
cliche.
predictable.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out the X-ray helmet was going to be the reveal thing, but I've already figured out hardcore. That tells
Right.
you.
Very clear.
And I don't want
they
that.
could
Like
do
I,
that.
I don't want it. I don't want hardcore to be bad, nor do I want her to be about it. I don't want to be. No, it turns out that like all these people we endlessly slaughtered in the show could have been saved, or at the very least could have been rehabilitated at some point. Like, nah. But that's not what this is. Like, right? Like James Gunn is not interested in Batman's code of honor kind of thing. You know, he's interested.
I love
in watching,
that Peacemaker makes fun of Superman and Batman regularly.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that James Gunn's interested in being like, no, like watch these irredeemable people. Watch you feel bad for and root for monsters. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you want to do.
Also, side note on the him making fun of Superman in this episode was he says he has a poop fetish or something.
Yes, he does.
And I watched this episode right after I watched Superman and Lois, so I'm picturing like Tyler Hoechlin Superman. It's
Yeah.
like, oh no, that's not what you want.
I loved the redemption for Diebeard and Peacemaker's relationship in this particular one.
Agreed.
Because I thought they were going to bring this to the end of the show kind of a thing, him just making fun of Diebeard and ragging on him. But that PowerPoint presentation really seemed to get to him. You know what I mean? When he was making fun of that. And if you watch the post-credit scene, it's just more names being thrown out at him.
Amazing. Yeah, yeah. I like that they're doing the post-credit scene as a kind of like just extension of the improv they tried, which is like just such a smart move because it gives you something else to stick around for.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the gorilla in the room?
The gorilla?
Sure. The random gorilla.
I mean,
It looked great.
I thought it was like Gorilla Grodd at first, and then I'm like, oh no, it's a butterfly in its head.
That's what. So my thought process when a gorilla shows up in DC, it's always Grodd, weird, and then I think like, oh wait, there's actually like 40,000 gorillas in DC.
Yeah.
And turns out this one's none of them. So
But yeah, if you don't know this, there's actually a nation of talking gorillas. Grodd's from that nation. Like,
There's also, not to be confused with Ultrahumanite, who's a different kind of talking gorilla.
right.
But not,
DC's got a thing for talking gorillas.
gorillas were very popular. I'm sure there's a
true.
YouTube video about it. But like, I did remember, my wife actually pointed out, she was like, that's the gorilla from earlier in the show. Apparently, like, there was a broadcast in one of the earlier episodes where they're like, an escaped gorilla, like, went nuts in the, like, an escape from a zoo.
yeah.
I remember that.
And
And I found that to be so
she's
weird.
like, that's gonna show up. And I'm like, yeah, she's like, oh yeah. And then the gorilla, she's like, there's the gorilla. And I'm like, all right.
I liked the
it looked great.
chainsaw, and I love
Yeah.
Vigilante being upset. I mean, like, seriously, 15 minutes ago I said I wanted to use the chainsaw. And then do you think that was like a stab at me?
Right. So funny, because these people are all like really deeply insecure, macho, like psychos. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yep, that's really funny. This is good.
I would
It's
love
a good show.
like by the way, talking about Economos, like him making up with Peacemaker. That's so convenient, and I'm sure this isn't what happened, but I would love for it to be the case that because that was so like convenient that they happened to share that, love, and he's so into that band. I would love if he dug into Peacemaker's file, found that out about him, and then fake tattooed that on him.
Oh my god!
Made up this whole story. So
I don't think so. I think
no,
that
I
would
don't
be
think that happened at all.
That's a genius idea, though. Like that's something that you should do if you are actually in deep undercover. Like that's a good move. Hang on to that.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So, okay, well, let's talk about Amanda Waller's daughter. Did I miss something? What is the diary she wants her to plant?
I don't think they've explained that yet, right?
Okay,
Like, that's just,
all right.
it's evidence.
Well,
I assume it's like there's a
Yeah.
setup.
Waller told her to do that. She was like, "Dude, this is your mission. Put the diary there. Blah blah blah." But we don't really know why yet.
Because we all know sometimes I turn away and I miss some key plot points.
Yes.
It's a
Right.
Well, you
common
missed
thing.
that she was Waller's daughter at all in the first
Yeah.
episode. So
That's true. That's true.
Hey, I have ADD, man. All right, the fact I'm here is an accomplishment.
Right.
fair enough.
There's no other. But there's no other like
Ooh, a kitty.
plot point yet. They haven't said anything about like what the diary is. My guess is that the reason why they recruited a colorful psychopath into this like deep state black ops mission is so that when they're done, they can just blame it all on Peacemaker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like such a Waller thing to do as well.
Yeah.
What do we think's gonna happen with? I thought the detectives' roles were kind of done after they framed White Dragon. Obviously, they're more important.
Well, they're in the opening dance number.
Yeah, well, I mean, that
Well,
doesn't
so's
mean...
the
I mean,
janitor.
Judo Master is too, and the janitor.
Janitor, yeah.
Judo Master is, and he's had like 2 important scenes, so it's like...
But he's not dead yet.
Sure isn't.
What do you think is going on with this detective trying to track everything down and them trying to Reframe White Dragon.
I think it's a setup in terms of plot for them to get you to think like the cavalry is coming. Like eventually she on her own is going to figure out the whole conspiracy from her perspective, and then the two like groups are going to meet, and probably she'll die for laughs. But like we're kind of Scatman Carruthers her like in The Shining, where it's like, oh man, Scatman Carruthers is coming. He is gonna save the day. And then Axe. I think she is Scatman Carruthers in this show, where it's like, we're gonna watch her piece it all together. We're gonna root for her. We're gonna find out she has like some kind of deep, sad past, and then boom, dead. Or boom, like bait and switch.
I actually like that about when she was doing that journey. Everyone's like, okay, yeah, so we framed him. But he's a Nazi.
But who cares?
Yeah, like, okay, he's a Nazi. Just leave him there. Like,
right, exactly. Yeah.
I just love that that's been the constant thing this whole time.
Right.
Like, is it wrong that we put him in jail? Like,
right? Like, I mean, let's just chalk it up to a win and move on.
Yeah, exactly. Vigilante kind of had a lower role in this one. I feel like he's kind of after everything that happened recently, he got pushed back to that Deadpoolish kind of role where he's just cracking the jokes in the background.
Too many characters. You gotta move them around.
Yeah.
Somebody's
James Gunn does such a great job of that. Like contrary to CW show versus this, CW would have tried to continue Vigilante's plot in this episode along with everyone else. And
if it was CW or a longer running show, if it was Marvel or something, if it was a Netflix show, the plot would have been like there would have been a Vigilante in prison plot where like every episode we got to check back in the Vigilante in prison.
Or he would have gotten a love interest if it was CW.
Oh my god! Well, they all would have had love interests.
Yeah, they all would have had them.
Yeah, everyone would have had somebody.
Any randomness you guys want to bring up? Like, I mean, this episode was great again, but there's not much to speculate on.
I mean, I would say if we want to lob some criticism at the show, I mean this episode felt to me like a little, not like filler, but like it's just another episode. Like it's a bridge. Like we end at the same place this episode that we do in the last one for the most part. Yes. So but again, like this, I have such a hard time criticizing the show for that when the episode is like fun and it's clear that it fits into the season. So like again.
Well, and I think we're wrapping up too. So I think we needed this episode to set up the relationship with these characters. Like they're all so caustic and miserable, and it's like someone remembered, oh right, they all kind of have to be friends before the end of the show. And so this is the like team building episode where it's like, yeah, it seems superfluous, but like if you cut it and you just move from episode 4 to episode 6, you'll be like, why do they care about each other suddenly? Like this is important. It's world building, and I think it's just James Gunn being like, I get a whole show. Like this would have been a scene or a couple of moments in different scenes, collectively being like 5 minutes in a movie. Yeah, but because he's got a show, he's like, I can do a whole episode of friendship making right here. Yeah, and it's like, and it became dope because we had a really fun ape fight. And it was also cool looking. Like it was everything you want from an action superhero blockbuster that's also subversive and about like monsters.
See, what I liked about this episode was comparing it to the Hawkeye episode with Kate and Clint in the car, and the whole episode just being a constant fight and chase, which was awesome in itself.
Was dope.
I liked this better because they took a little bit of time in the beginning to set up. We all hate each other. We don't want to be here. We're gonna do Rochambeau who gets stuck with Vigilante and things like that.
Exactly.
Only to end it with everyone smiling and getting photos and being like the bumper around the action piece really helped make this, in my opinion, one step above what Hawkeye did with its action episode.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Well, especially because like honestly, this looks better.
Yeah.
Like when it's CG, it's like like with the ape, I'm like, I mean, you had low lighting. I don't know if it was practical or not. Like, I'm sure it was a combination. If it wasn't, I'm like, hey, way to go. Yeah. But like I liked Hawkeye, but with a couple of Marvel things, when you're watching it, you go, I mean, like I'm enjoying myself, so I'm just gonna forget that like the CG looks bad. Right. It's usually it's in service to the story. They're just trying to get you. I mean, remember Black Panther was nominated for an Oscar, and it is some of the worst CG
Sure does.
in a blockbuster of that year I've ever seen. And it's like you just forget about it. But with this, it's like it's a nice marriage of everything, and also it's got and it's also really niche. You know, it's like if you like movies about jerks arguing with each other, then this is kind of up your alley, isn't it? If you're not, you're gonna be like, I don't understand why people like Peacemaker so much. But yeah.
So I want to throw 2 factoids that I've pulled up while doing all of this stuff. Okay. One, Peacemaker is the number 3 rated show out right now on IMDb's rankings.
Yep.
No, like Boba Fett's not even near it. I don't think it's even in the top 10. I might be wrong.
No.
Don't quote me on that. I'm just going off Peacemaker's number 3, and ahead of it's like 2 just Netflix things and stuff like that, which is awesome. The other thing is that I just found this up when I was trying to find those rankings to see where Boba Fett ranked, and I couldn't pull them up fast enough.
Nope.
I ended up finding the actor Freddie Stroma, who plays Vigilante.
Yes.
I had no idea that he was in anything else. He was in the Harry Potter series while getting a bachelor's degree in neuroscience.
What? That's awesome.
Who was he in
Yeah.
Harry Potter?
Cormac McLagan.
Oh.
That sounds made up.
A
enough.
year 1 student above Harry. He's introduced on the train journey. So he's just like a background character that probably pops up here. and there.
yeah.
But the fact that he has a neuroscience.
Neuroscience.
What?
That's awesome.
He did modeling and acting to pay for his way through university.
That's
So-
not how you live life. That's the opposite. Wait a minute.
Okay.
He did life backwards. He was also had a minor role in Pitch Perfect and things like that. So like the guy that I thought was a nobody has been a lot of roles in a lot of things. I think this is his first like consistent role though.
He's been all
Yeah.
in all of my favorite things, apparently.
Yeah. He's just been a background character. He was in Game of Thrones as Dickon Tarley for 1 episode. He was in The Crew for 10 so he had 1 main role before this.
Okay.
So he's just been in a lot of things you know.
Right. But you don't know him.
Yeah. It's one of those actors. And he's smarter
That is a
than
fun
all of us, so...
Yes.
True.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Let us know what you thought about Peacemaker Episode 5 down below, and make sure you check back this weekend. We got more reviews and analytical stuff coming up, but we've also got some fun discussions happening. I'm Benny, that's Sal, and that's Dylan.
Don't point. It never works.
And that's a cat sitting behind Dylan, and we'll see you next time right here.